Hey guys, techmadeezy, and thank you so much for clicking on our video today. Well, as you can see, we've got the EcoFlow Delta Max 2000. This is the top of the line Delta Max, and this is one of the smart batteries, and you can connect up to 2 smart batteries to extend runtime and capacity to the Delta Max. Look, this is simple, clean power. There's no gas, there's no oil, you don't have to leave it outside, and guess what? If you like to, you can even bring this in your bedroom, which is kind of nice. This delivers 2,400 watts. And with X-Boost technology, it can handle 3,400 watts with many appliances. And if your appliances and devices have a surge, well, guess what? This can handle up to 5,000 watt surges. This thing is a beast. It can handle up to 99% of all household appliances, and not many can say that. And this has a technology called Extreme Technology by EcoFlow. And this is the fastest charging on Earth. You can charge this to 80% in 65 minutes. Now that is fast. So why don't we go ahead and check this out? Hi, it's Al from techmadeezy with a real quick message. I just want to let you know the video you're about to watch is not sponsored. We went out and bought the products ourselves. So, if you like our video, please give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps. Share our video. And lastly, we hope you subscribe to our channel and become a part of the family. Thank you. So here it is, the Delta Max 2000. And this is one of the optional smart batteries. Now you can actually add 2 more of these to triple the capacity and the runtime. Think about that. Here's our video outline. I just wanted to be upfront with you about what we're covering in the video so you're well aware. I'll also put some timestamps in the description as well. So we're going to start off going over basics of the Delta Max, the cost, and what's included. I'll also go over key features, and I'm also going to go over the EcoFlow Smart app that would go on your phone or your tablet. We're going to take a close look at the unit, the ports, and the outlets, and I'm even going to cover magic sauce. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to cover some options for the Delta Max. We're going to go over the smart battery and the new smart generator. I'm also going to be doing some testing examples, which I believe will be helpful for you, or at least I hope so. I'll go over specs, and we'll go over pros and cons. Let's get started. Let's take some time and go over some basics. So, this has a 2-year warranty. This is the Delta Max 2000. It stands for 2016 watt hours, which is the battery's capacity. They also make a Delta Max 1600. It's got a smaller battery, and there are some slight differences. This retails for $2,099. And it sells anywhere from $1,800 to $1,900. We'll put links in the description. If you use our links, you support our channel. Let's go over what's included. So, in the black box, you do get the power cord. And I'll tell you, this power cord is a thicker power cord. It's actually a thicker gauge power cord. It is 14 AWG, as you can see there. You really don't want to use any other cord but this cord, because this is pretty powerful, especially when it recharges. You get DC barrel plugs, and when we go ahead and show you the unit, we're going to go over what these can do. You also get MC4 cables for your solar connected to the XT60 that goes in the back of the unit. You get the DC car charger, again XT60, plugs into the back of the unit. You get instructions on MC4. You get a manual, which is a little thin, but you can also get this online, and a reminder to register your product. You get a 24-month warranty. Let's take some time now and go over the unit. So the first thing I want you to see is this beautiful display. Now, what makes it beautiful is not only can you see it in most cases, except maybe in the sunlight when it's really, really strong, but it gives you all the information you need. So you get your charge and your recharge time over here. You get your actual battery percentage right here in the middle. Then you also get your input and your output wattage, right? So if you're charging this via AC, DC, or solar, it's going to actually tell you that. And then what are you powering? Your output, right? So if I have this plugged into a refrigerator, it's going to tell me how many watts that's being used, which is really nice. Now, there is a smart app, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that up and show it to you, because I got to tell you, you can do firmware updates. You can do, you can control the unit, which is really nice. So give me a second. Let me get that ready. So here is the EcoFlow app. Now, I'm already in the Max, but if I back out, you'll see that I've got a couple of EcoFlow devices. Now, when I log in, it automatically shows me the percentage on the right. It also shows me the battery temperature on the left. This will also show me my input and output wattage. So if I've got this in my backyard charging solar, I don't have to be in the backyard. I can actually see what I'm powering or how I'm charging this and how many watts I'm getting. You've got X-Boost control, which, there are some appliances that don't use X-Boost. You can turn that off, which is nice. You have control over your car charger. You've got control over all of your USB devices by simply hitting a power button. So if I turn on AC, hit that button, AC is now on. The inverter is going to turn on. Some numbers are going to change. All right. I can turn on the car charger in the back. I can turn on the USB as well. So you really got full control, and there's no major delay. And obviously we're sitting in front of this thing, so that's obviously a big reason there. Now, let's go over some of the other benefits real quick. So you can rename the unit, which I love. You can actually adjust the charge or discharge level. So let's say you want this battery to last longer. You can actually say only charge to 90%. You can adjust the charge speed. Now, why is that beneficial? I'm going to show you later on in the back of the unit. What if your RV or your apartment can't supply 1800 watts? You can go in here, go down, and adjust this to 200 watts, 300 watts, 400 watts, all the way up to 1800 watts. That is really, really helpful. Your car input's there. You can turn the beep off if you don't want that. And this can be charged via smart generator. And if the delta goes down to 30%, I can actually say when you hit 30%, I want you to turn the smart generator on and charge this. And the smart generator is an actual gas generator. We're going to go over that later on. You can adjust a lot of other things. We're not going to go over the full app. You can check for firmware updates. If you click this, there's already a new update, okay? And I can click update and update this and keep this unit running perfectly, all right? You can also see device specifications, and there's a help center. So the app is super valuable. What else do we have? So in order to connect to your app, you actually have an IoT reset. When you hold that button down, Wi-Fi will flash on the screen, allowing you to connect this to the EcoFlow app to control it and update it. This is your power button for your USB, which we turned on in the app. This is your power button for the unit. Now, what's nice about this is if I click it one time, it'll turn the screen off. If I click it again, it'll turn it on. And if I hold this, it'll actually power the unit off. Continuing on with the ports, you do get two USB Type A ports. Now these are 12 watts max. You get two fast charge USB Type A, and these are 18 watts each. You get two USB Type C ports. These are 100 watts each. You can connect like a MacBook, right, that uses USB Type C, or an iPad or your phone. So these are really, really helpful, which is nice. Why don't we go through the back of the unit now? So here's the back of the unit, and here's the panel I'm going to go over with you. So on the left side, you've got an XT60. You plug in your solar cable, you plug in your car charger cable, right? So that's an input to charge the unit. Next to it is magic sauce, okay? I am so glad they added this. So when I showed you the app, I showed you how you can custom charge this unit. So if you push it up to the top, it's going to fast charge up to 1800 watts. But what if the outlet you're plugging this into in your cabin or your RV or your van or your house or your apartment can't supply 1800 watts? This thing is going to keep tripping your breaker. So guess what? Pull this down. Let me bring up the app and I'll show you again. So once you pull this down to slow, you can actually change the level from 200 watts all the way to 1800 watts. So when you're in the app, you go over to the gear on the upper right hand corner. You go over to AC charge speed. You see that? Click on that. That's going to bring up a menu. As you can see, I'm on 1800 watts right now. I can go all the way down to slow charge 200 watts because maybe I want to slow charge my batteries, or maybe the outlet I'm connecting to is an older outlet and I don't want to charge my breaker. I don't want to, flip my breakers in my house, trip them, I should say. So as you can see here, you can go all the way up, individual 100 watt increments, all the way to 1800 watts. By the way, we did a detailed Delta comparison from the Mini all the way up to the Delta Pro. Now there's no testing, but this is a lot of good information. If you're trying to make up your mind between one of these models, we will put a link in the description, and I will also put a link in the upper right-hand corner right now, okay? So if you want to check it out, the link should be showing up in the upper right-hand corner. Take a look at that, but we hope you come back and watch the rest of the video. So we left off showing you the magic sauce, which is the fast or custom switch. Here is where you plug in your power cord. And what's nice is there's no power brick, right? It's all built into here. You don't have to carry a big power brick. Here is your overload protection. Here's your little panel to cover that. You've got 6 AC outlets. These are 2,400 watts and they surge up to 5,000. Here's your power button for your AC outlets. Here's your DC section. And you've got your car charger, we're all familiar with, right? You've got 2 barrel plugs. Now, with a barrel plug, you can actually use it to, charge a laptop if you have a laptop, or devices that have a barrel on the other side. But the other thing you can do is you can get an accessory like this. We'll include it in the description, by the way. But this basically converts the barrel to another car charger. And these are covered, which is nice. So you can have 3 car chargers in the back of this unit. So that's pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the left side of the unit for a second. And this is the logo along with the fans. And your air intake is pretty much going to go from side to side, cooling off your batteries. Here's where you plug in the extra batteries. Battery port number 1 and battery port number 2. Now, if you're going to plug in a battery and you're going to want to check for an update, you want to connect it to battery port number 1. And then when you go on the app and you check for updates, it'll check for an update on the Delta Max and the battery. Because yes, the batteries are smart, they get updated as well. So here's a smart battery, and the smart battery has a compartment on the top. If you open this up, you actually have the booklet for the smart battery, and you have the smart battery cable. So as you can see, I've got the smart cable connected to the smart battery, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you how simple it is to connect to the side of the Delta Max. So all you do is take the cable and push it in, and then, as you can see, when it's past that part, it's in all the way. As you can see, when you connect the smart battery, what it does is it'll immediately start charging the Delta Max. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got 64 watts coming in, 64 watts coming out. All right, so again, the batteries add more runtime and capacity to the Delta Max. Here's a good look at the bottom of the unit. You do get some real thick rubber on both the front and the back, and it's a raised rubber. Your serial number is also down here as well as some specification information. This weighs 48 pounds, not too bad. Now, if you get yourself the Delta Pro, that's 99 pounds. But what's nice is you've got really strong handles on the side to lift this thing up. I wanted to take a moment and just explain XBoost. Now, I'm not going to read all this to you, so if you want, hit pause and read this when you have time. But, you know, XBoost is a really cool technology that EcoFlow invented. And, you know, the Delta Max obviously, you know, is a 2,400 watt power station, right? Now, it can surge up to 5,000 watts. But the thing about XBoost is it can take a 2,400 watt power station like the Delta Max and actually run many appliances up to 3,400 watts, which is really cool. Now, look at the last statement on the bottom. Just know that it is incompatible with appliances that have strict voltage requirements, okay, like precise instruments. So just be aware of that, okay? So here is the smart generator on the right side, and there is the Delta Max and the Delta Max Smart Battery. The smart generator can actually charge the battery on its own, or it can actually charge the Delta Max. Now, there are some nice settings I'll show you real quick. So what's nice about the app is you can go in the app and you can adjust the smart generator settings. Just go up to the gear, and as you can see here, there's a smart generator auto off and auto on. And so if the Delta Max reaches 30% battery as it's being discharged, maybe being plugged into something, the smart generator can automatically turn on. So if I click this, you'll see here that I could say once it hits 30% or 25 or whatever it is, so 30 is the minimum, or 10% or whatever it is, I want the smart generator to turn on and automatically start charging the Delta Max. And I can do the same. I can say, you know what? Once the Delta Max reaches 90%, stop charging and turn off the generator. So I like that feature. If you want to see our full review on the smart generator, we'll put a card up here on the right-hand corner, and we'll put the picture of what the video looks like. All right, you could always go back to our channel and check it out. Now, the smart generator does work with the Delta Pro also, and it does work as a standalone generator, but keep in mind, you've really only got one outlet to use, okay, besides the battery outlet, which is right here. Now, the smart generator does come with a really long cord. I believe this is 16 feet, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go ahead and put a note here to confirm that, okay? And that's great because you're going to keep the smart generator outside and possibly keep your batteries inside. That's up to you. I mean, obviously, if it's really hot or really cold, you're not going to have your batteries outside. But this cord here is pretty much the same cord you would get with a smart battery. So when you go to the smart battery, the cord is actually in here. So this is a small cord that connects the battery to the Delta Max. And as you can see, you know, it's got the same connectors. The difference is it's a lot shorter. So why don't we go ahead and connect this to the Delta Max. So again, all you do on this part here is just open up this latch. Okay, you're going to connect this connector here, push it in all the way. All right, you're going to connect this to the side of the Delta Max. Now, you've got two spots here because the Delta Max supports two batteries, right? So let's go ahead, open up, battery port number 1. Let's just connect this. Now, when I do that, you'll see that the smart battery automatically turned on because the Delta Max was on. So it automatically turned it on. This smart generator does have a small battery, okay? And it is showing that it is now connected. And what we can do is we can start it up and show you it. All right, so we are ready to start this. And now you just need to make sure that this is turned on and the cap up top is turned on, the breather cap, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do electric start. We're just going to hold the button down. It beeps. Now you'll see there in the beginning it was charging at about 1100 watts and then it dropped it to about 5 and change, and that's because it's slow charging, right? Because the battery is at 93% and so it's not going to put full wattage into the battery. It's going to start to slow charge it, it'll drop the wattage down. Now this can go as high as 1800 watts, I believe with a surge 1900 watts. So let's start the engine. The other thing you have is a performance mode or an eco mode. Now, when the battery's almost full, it's pretty much going to stay on eco mode, okay? But performance mode obviously will supply more wattage to the battery, the Delta Max or the Delta Pro. Now we have the smart generator connected to the battery, and let's use the app to turn it on. Now, in the app for the smart generator, you do have some additional settings. Besides starting and stopping the engine, turning on performance or eco mode, you get to see your gas capacity on here and your runtime, depending on what you have plugged in. You can turn off the outlet and turn it on, and if you go into settings, you can even adjust the charging speed. So you can click that and actually go here and drop it all the way down to 1000 watts or all the way up in 100 watt increments to 1800 watts. So it's nice to have. And then you've got your maintenance, which you can go in there, and you can also check your firmware as well. So let's also look at the unit real quick. And you see here you've got a CO alarm, you've got an oil alert alarm, you've got your ground terminal. Again, like I said before, you've got a regular outlet here, okay? So just a regular outlet there. That's 120 volt, 15 amp. AC on and off for the outlet, and then IoT reset to connect it to, you know, the app, which we did already. And then, you know, again, your input, your output wattage, your gas capacity, and then obviously your discharge or your charge time. So, pretty nice. Hey guys, if you're really enjoying this video, take a moment, give us a thumbs up. Brooklyn and I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Continuing on with options, as you could see here, every Delta can use any of these solar panels. Now here's another option that'll knock your socks off. I mean, it is so innovative. This is the EcoFlow Solar Tracker. And what this does is it works with regular solar panels. It also works with EcoFlow solar panels. And when you connect this through the XT60 on the back of your power station, basically there's a tracker on this unit that will actually track the sun and move and follow the sun. So you don't have to go to your backyard or go somewhere and move your panels all day long. And that means that you're going to get more wattage to recharge your power station. Now, it's not available, and I don't know the price at this point, but very cool. So here's another example. You're out and you need to cut some wood and you have no access to power. Can the Delta Max 2000 by itself support a 13 amp Black & Decker circular saw? Well, let's find out. So, you know, being careful, but again, no issue, worked very well. All right, so now we did the demonstration. You saw that the Delta Max can handle this appliance, right? You know, this thing surged as high as 2,200 watts, so it can handle it. Now, how long is going to be the battery that's inside of the Delta Max? So how long can the Delta Max run the circular saw? The other question is how long with one battery connected to it. So that's the, you know, now you've got, you know, double the capacity. And how long with two batteries connected to it? So let's use this calculator that we like to refer to. And so we average 1,250 watts, okay? And as you can see here on our watt hour calculation, we're a little shy of 2016 watt hours. So this is telling us that we could run the circular saw if we average 1,250 watts for 1.61 hours. Not bad. Now, how long if we add a battery? Well, the battery calculation comes out to 3 hours and 22 minutes. So let's just calculate that. All right, 3.22. Right, so we are a little shy of the 4,032 watt hours because, again, you're taking the Delta Max is 2016 watt hours battery. The second battery is 2016 watt hours. So we're a little shy of 4,032 watt hours. Again, averaging 1,250 watts, we would get 3.22 hours. Now, what happens if we add the second battery? Now we've got the battery in the Delta Max, the other battery, and now we've got this second battery connected. Well, we would get almost 5 hours, 4.83. So again, 1,250 watts, 6,037 watt hours. Again, a little shy of our 6,048 watt hours. We would get 4.83 hours if we connected a second battery. And that's just a good example that, you know, if you need more run time, you're going to add an additional battery. If the power station that you buy has that ability. I hope you found this information helpful. For our next example, we're going to be using a Set Power AG40. Now this is a 12-volt portable freezer fridge. Great in the case of, just jumping in your vehicle and keeping a refrigerator with you, or going camping. And obviously when you go camping and you want to power this, well, the Delta Max is just one of the perfect examples. And when you connect via DC, you're actually going to use less power than connecting via AC. The AC has an inverter, and the inverter will take up some power as well. Now, this is a 42-quart freezer fridge. It's 12 volt. It can go from 0 degrees to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so let's see how this does. So let's go ahead now and turn the unit on. And, it's got a nice display. It's got max mode, it's got eco mode. And what I'll do too is I'll check the temperature. And then we're going to try to see how long we can run this with the Delta Max and how long we can run it with additional batteries. So let's tilt up the Delta Max so we could see it. Let's turn this on, and I think it goes on to level 5. All right, so the unit is on, and I'm just trying to see if we got any power. Now, setting number 4. Okay, so we're using, it went up to 13. All right, so it's going up and down. Now this supposedly uses an average of 55 watts. All right, now we've got this set at level 5. And yeah, we're going up and down. 26, 40. One of the big differences between DC and AC. With AC you've got pure sine wave. So your power is more consistent and smooth. With DC, it can go up and down. So, all right, as you could see, we're jumping around 19 to 55 watts. Okay. Now, this says, based off of the load, this is going to run at 53 hours with a fully charged Delta Max. Now it's dropping to 53. So even if we average that to about 50 hours, that's what it says based off this load. Now let's check temperature for a second. So why don't we pull up and check the temperature. So I'm going to open this up. And I've got 67 degrees inside. All right, so it's not cold yet. So let's get this to run for a while. So we're at 67.4. And again, we are saying we're going to run about 52 hours based off the load that we have now. So here I've got one of the batteries. You can actually add up to 2 batteries. And I'm just going to connect it on the side here. And then it'll turn the battery on. That'll turn on in a moment. Okay. And the battery immediately starts to charge the Delta Max. So you could see here the battery's sending 300 watts or so to the Delta Max. And the Delta Max is using, as you could see here now, we're using 70-something watts right now because we've got this on setting number 5. So let's come up with some calculations on how long we can run the refrigerator with just the Delta Max for now. So I came up with a calculation. The Delta Max has 2,016 watt hours, and on the refrigerator freezer, we averaged about 74 watts. So in that case, if we use a calculator, I came up with 27.2 hours based off the average of 74. okay? Now what happens if I add a battery? So now I have a Delta Max, which is 2016 watt hours. I've got another battery, and that doubles to 4032 watt hours. How long could we go? Well, if I use my calculator, we'll be able to go 54.2 hours using the Delta Max and an extra battery. Now, how long could we go if we add 2 extra batteries? Well, that would be 6,048 watt hours. And so my calculation comes up to 81.7 hours with the 2 batteries, the Delta Max. Not bad, 81.7 hours. So think about it. 1 battery, just the Delta Max, 27.2 hours. The Delta Max with a second battery, 54.2 hours. And the Delta Max with the 2 batteries, 81.7 hours. Not bad. All right, next up is going to be a really nice example of us in the kitchen, right? We're going to be using a refrigerator, a coffee maker, an induction stove, and just show you an example of just using the Delta Max. So we are in the techmadeezy kitchen here. And we're going to do a couple of tests with the Delta Max. I always wanted to show some real-world examples. So I got an induction stove. I'm going to make some eggs real quick. I've got my coffee maker set up, good old-fashioned coffee maker. So we're going to make some techmadeezy coffee, and we're going to plug the refrigerator in. So we're going to start there because I unplugged the refrigerator for a few minutes. You know, it's not being powered. And so, you know, right now AC is on the Delta. And we want to just see what we're pulling as far as power is concerned. So let's start off by plugging the refrigerator in. And here's my cord that's going to support all my power. So let me start off by plugging in the refrigerator, and then let's go over real quick and see. Look at that, 164, 65, and then it'll drop down probably to 0. So we're running our refrigerator, okay? And let's open the door and make sure. And sorry, I don't want to swing the camera too fast. But there's the power. So our refrigerator is being powered. We have that plugged in, that cable all the way to the Delta Max. We're going to go ahead and start with the induction stove. We're going to go ahead and make eggs. So let me go ahead and grab some eggs from the refrigerator real quick. Okay. I don't have too many, but all right, we'll do this. We'll do this together, like you're over my house, and my fiance's inside. She's excited because I'm going to make her some eggs, but we'll see. You know, not too much. So let's start off, and I'm going to move the Delta a little bit. Need that counter space. Okay, so this is on. This thing heats up pretty darn quick, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and put some butter down, hit power. I'm going to leave it on a 5 for now. I don't know if this light's going to help or hurt, but we got more light. Look at that, the butter's already melting. I just turned it on. This thing has not been on for hours. I've tried it once before. And we're just going to go ahead and rock and roll and make an unhealthy egg. So maybe I'll make 2. Is there enough room for 2? Yeah, let's make 2. I mean, look how fast the egg is cooking too. Now this is not on the highest setting, but and let's look at the wattage now. So look at this. We're at 900 and change on 5 on an induction that can actually go to 1800 watts. Now I'm going to bring this down. All right, because I do want to eat those eggs. And bringing it down is dropping it to about 800. And I'm one that's a big slow cooker. Wow, those are cooking pretty darn quick. All right, not the best pan, by the way. And as you can see, we're able to make eggs, and And be honest with you, even with all that butter, these eggs probably won't survive too well. Again, really first time cooking on this setting of 1, right? So let's, I don't know if that's going to lower. I'm not sure. That's at the lowest setting. All right, now can we turn on the coffee maker? So lowest setting here is around 500, 600, 700. Now it's going up and down. Actually, it's dropped a lot. Wow, okay. So really it's dropped a lot. Okay, so, all right, yeah, it's jumping up and down. It just showed me 700 a second ago. Now, while I'm making eggs, can I go ahead and turn on the coffee maker and make some coffee? And now, that's, I don't know, probably 1,000 watts. And I got to bring this closer. That's probably about 1,000 watts. So that's on. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on so it can make, it's on auto. So let's turn it on and see. Let's watch our wattage now. We've got 1,700 and then it drops down to 1,000. Now X Boost is off, by the way. I don't have X Boost running. I'm going to turn the temperature back up a little bit on here. I've got it on 3. Here I'm pulling 1,700 watts. Okay, so look guys, I am running an induction stove, right? I am running a coffee maker that should be, yep, it's making coffee. And I am running a refrigerator. It's a nice example to show. Now the fans are turning on the Delta Max just now. It says I could run this for 57 minutes based off the load, right? This load. So you're not really going to run 1,800 watts, consistently. You might if you're using a power tool for 15 minutes or whatever. But, I just lowered the stove a little bit more. The eggs are probably going to be sacrificed. But, yeah, we are able to make eggs, make Techmadeezy coffee. All right, a fresh cup of Techmadeezy coffee here. And power our refrigerator. Is that cool or what? Oh boy. You smell that? That's that Javalia. I'm using Javalia coffee in a regular coffee machine. Trying that out. Been using the Keurig for a long time. Wow, now that was a good test to do in the kitchen there. Now, if you want to know how long the Delta Max will run a full-size refrigerator, I'm going to put the video that you see on the screen. I'm going to put the link in the description, but I'm also going to put it in the upper right-hand corner right now. So, if you want to click on that and check it out, go right ahead. But we're going to move forward in our review. Now let's cover some pros and some cons. Let's start off with the cons, okay? And I'll tell you, there's a few cons, but there's actually a lot of pros to this Delta Max. So we start off with the cons, and to me, I would say cost. Definitely not cheap, but to not have to deal with oil or gas or loud noise, and to be able to take this indoors, I guess you got to weigh that out. Now, weight, yeah, I mean, this is not a light power station. The batteries are not light, so weight is a con. Those batteries they're heavy. Now, it doesn't have wireless charging, and I would have loved to see that on the top of the power station. That would be a nice addition to maybe a future model. And I would like to see more USB and USB Type-C ports. I feel as if we have enough AC outlets. Now, as we move forward, we go on to the pros. Again, based off my experience dealing with these power stations, product quality, I do believe that the product is made, really well. Starting off with packaging, the way they box their products, to the way the product is actually made. They think of a lot of things, whether it's the handles or the rubber on the bottom to not damage your floors or wherever you're going to be putting the product. So, I haven't had any major issues with products. I would say that, the Delta Max offers tons of power, right? 2,400 watts, surging to, 5,000 watts. And then you get X Boost on top of that. Depending on what you're running, you could run, devices up to 3,400 watts for, short periods of time. This also has super fast charging using that Extreme technology. I mean, think about it, 80% in an hour. That is unheard of, and it's 4 to 5 times faster than the competition. Now, I do also like that you don't have to carry a big power brick. You just have to have an AC cable with you, or a solar panel, or, your XT60, and you can plug this into your car and charge it as well. This has a really clear, detailed display showing you input wattage, output wattage, your recharge and your discharge time, so I like that. You've got 15 ports and outlets to charge your devices, so that's not bad. I'd like to see more, but that's pretty darn good considering what you've got in one power station. Yep, this unit is expandable. You can add on the Delta Max add-on batteries, up to 2 of them, and triple your runtime capacity. I also like that this can handle up to 800 watts of solar charging, which, as you all know, that's free power, right? Whenever you need to recharge this, you really should be recharging it with solar so it doesn't cost you anything. And the EcoFlow app, really, nice that you could leave these things, in some corner or in your backyard charging it solar, and you can see via the app, if it's charged fully yet. You can control it. You can do firmware updates. So I like that. And if there's an issue, they're going to send an update. They're going to update that unit. So I'm a big fan of the EcoFlow app. And lastly, the support's pretty good. I think there's still room to get better, but I think they have improved drastically. They support the US. They're available, during normal business hours for us if you have to deal with support. Email is probably the best way to get in touch with them. So I hope these pros and these cons help you out. Well, definitely a fun video to do. This is a beefy power station. Now, we're going to have some specs coming up in a little bit if you want to check that out. All right, and before we do that, hopefully you'll give us a thumbs up. Hopefully this video has helped you in some way. And let's check out some specs. Here are 2 pages of specs. If you want, hit pause, check them out. Again, thank you so much for watching our video. Hey guys, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. As you can see, Brooklyn, she's waving her tail for you. Take a moment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and you'll get notified of new videos we come out with. Also, follow us and contact us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.